You spend 40 years slogging your guts out in the blazing sun, doing the hard yakka, while the smart asses in Canberra sit in air-conditioned offices. You pack your own lunch, you skip the fancy holidays, and you eat Vegemite on toast, just to put a bit of extra cash away for a rainy day. You do exactly what society told you to do. You act responsible, you save and you prepare. Then, you hit retirement age, in 2026, walk into Centrelink to claim your fair share, and the bureaucrat behind the desk looks at your bank balance and treats you like you've just robbed a bank. Sorry mate, you are over the limit. Because you managed to scrape together exactly $321,500 in assets, Services Australia decides you have got too much cash to keep your full pension. That is the exact threshold where they start chipping away at your fortnightly paycheck. Think about that for a hot minute. $321,500. In 2026, what does that actually buy you? It barely feels like real wealth anymore, and it is nowhere near enough to comfortably buy into Sydney or Melbourne without a massive debt. Yet, the system looks at that exact number and decides you need to be penalised. It is a fair dinkum joke. Think about the bloke next door who spent every single cent he earned on luxury cruises, high-stakes punting at the local RSL, and brand new jet skis. He has got $0 in the bank. And guess what? He walks straight into a full pension check every single fortnight, while the honest saver gets grilled over every single cent. The system rewards the bloke who blew it all and kicks the honest saver right in the teeth. How did we get to a point where financial independence is treated like a financial liability? Why is your hard-earned nest egg treated like a crime scene? That brutal reality brings us straight to the ultimate bureaucratic magic trick. It is called the deeming rate, and as of the 20th of March 2026, the bean counters in Canberra have turned it into an absolute art form of legalised highway robbery. See, deeming means the government does not care a brass razoo about what your bank account actually pays you. They do not care about reality, they just make a number up on a spreadsheet and play pretend. If you are a couple, the system looks at your cash, and for every single dollar you have sitting in the bank, over $106,200, Centrelink automatically pretends you are raking in a massive 3.25% interest. Pull the other one, mate, it has got bells on it. Plenty of ordinary retirees still struggle to consistently beat that deeming rate once inflation, taxes and fees chew through the returns. So, let us look at the math on this shonky setup. Even if you hunt down a decent account, the system automatically locks you into their math, pretending you are earning 3.25% on every dollar over that threshold. Then, they use that imaginary fictitious profit as an excuse to slash your real-world cold, hard pension cash. You are getting penalised for money that literally only exists inside a government computer. And do not get me started on the real world outside the Centrelink office. In 2026, when a basic, no-frills lifestyle costs well over $50K a year, inflation is eating us alive, and your hard-earned money buys bugger all now. You are trapped in a bloody pincer movement. On one side, actual price hikes are cannibalising your savings every time you go to the supermarket checkout. On the other side, Centrelink is pretending you are getting filthy rich off interest, so they can shortchange you on your fortnightly pension check. You are paying for their bad math with your actual quality of life. And another thing, if you think dealing with Centrelink on its own is an absolute headache, wait until you see what happens when they team up with their mates over at the Australian Taxation Office. It is a bureaucratic tag team match, and you are the one getting body slammed. In 2026, the ATO and Centrelink have engineered a beautiful little double-dipping machine designed to squeeze every last cent out of your pocket. Here is how the trap snaps shut. Let's say you try to do the right thing. You earn a few extra bucks from a tiny investment or a bit of casual work just to pay for the skyrocketing cost of groceries. The ATO lines up first because they want their pound of flesh. You declare every single cent because you play by the rules. But the moment the data clears, the ATO hands it straight over to Centrelink. And this is where the pincer movement locks tight. Centrelink looks at your income, and the moment you cross their strict threshold of $218 a fortnight, They bring out the heavy artillery. For every single dollar you earn over that miserable $218 limit, Centrelink rips 50 cents straight out of your pension paycheck. 50 cents on the dollar. Let that sink in. That is a 50% clawback rate. A high-flying corporate executive has access to a mountain of tax loopholes, but an everyday retiree trying to survive gets slugged with a 50% penalty just for trying to keep their head above water. The walls start closing in pretty quickly, don't they? You are caught in a suffocating financial vice. The tax man takes a bite, Centrelink takes a massive chunk of what is left, and you are left standing there wondering why you even bothered getting out of bed. The system treats your honesty like a threat and strips away your independence until you feel completely paralysed. It is enough to make you want to march down to the bank, pull out a couple of grand in cash, and chuck it straight into the nearest wheelie bin. It feels like the only way to win their rigged game is to have absolutely nothing left to lose. But look around any highway in this country at the moment. What do you see? A massive convoy of grey nomads driving shiny top-of-the-range rigs that look like they belong to a rock star. Or look at your neighbours, who are suddenly putting a massive state-of-the-art extension on their suburban home. They haven't won the lottery, mate. They are just playing the great caravan escape. See, under the current system, your principal home is the holy grail of assets protection. Services Australia cannot touch it. It does not matter if your family home is worth $1.5 million or $5 million. The bureaucrats completely ignore it when they calculate your pension. It is a massive, completely legal safe haven sitting right under your feet. So, what happens when everyday Aussies realise their hard-earned cash in the bank is being cannibalised by that ridiculous deeming rate? They do the only logical thing left. They spend it. They go out and drop over 200 grand on a brand new kitchen, a luxury pool, or a massive outdoor entertainment area. They turn liquid cash, which Centrelink punishes, into bricks and mortar, which Centrelink cannot touch. Or they head down to the local dealership and blow 100 and something grand on a luxury caravan packed with solar panels and leather seats. They are deliberately bleeding their bank accounts dry. Think about how absolutely topsy-turvy that is. The system has become so fundamentally broken that regular, hard-working folk are forced to throw hundreds of thousands of dollars away on luxury upgrades just to claw back an extra 80-odd bucks a fortnight on their pension. You have to spend a fortune just to qualify for a safety net you already paid for with a lifetime of taxes. It is brilliant, practical madness. You laugh about it over a pint, but you nod your head because it is the only way to beat them at their own game. So what does all this mean? It brings you straight to the absolute edge of the cliff. The bureaucrats in Canberra call it the upper asset threshold, but let us call it what it really is: the part pension death zone. It is a financial no man's land designed to completely wipe out the hard-working middle class. If you are a couple and you are lucky enough to own your own suburban home, your assets are measured against that final cut-off point of $1,085,000. Think about that upper threshold, $1,085,000. As your assets creep closer to that line, the taper rate drags your pension payment down to a tiny trickle. Imagine a husband and wife who worked flat out for 40 years, paid their taxes, and managed to build up a combined superannuation balance right around that mark. By the time they creep past that upper cutoff, the pension has effectively disappeared entirely. Your fortnightly paycheck from the government is gone burger. But it is not just the direct cash they rip away from you, it is the hidden extras that really break your back. By the time you cross that upper cutoff and the pension is effectively gone, you are also risking your pensioner concession card. Do you know what that actually means in 2026? It means your subsidised medicines at the local chemist are gone. Your discounted council rates are completely vaporised. Your cheaper car registration is finished. Now, you might scramble to get a Commonwealth Seniors Health Card, but those concessions can easily be worth thousands of dollars every single year to a household budget, and losing them is a massive blow. The system actively punishes you for being a fraction too successful. You are literally poorer because you saved more. If your retirement plan is just to crawl across the finish line with around $1 million in your account, you are not safe. You are the exact target this algorithm is waiting to butcher. So, here we are, back at the bar finishing off the last drop of this pint. And what is the real takeaway from this entire circus? It is a proper institutionalized stitch-up. If you sit on your hard-earned cash like a good little saver, you get absolutely stuffed by a heartless computer program. Now, let us get one thing straight. I am not some high-flying financial advisor in a flashy suit telling you what to do with your wealth. There is absolutely no financial advice here, mate. I am just a bloke at the pub, pointing out the bleeding obvious. Look at the latest 2026 data on what it actually costs to survive in this country. The latest retirement estimates show an older couple may need around 75 grand a year for a reasonably comfortable retirement, covering basic utilities, medical bills, and groceries without living like a hermit. That does not include any fancy overseas trips or a new set of wheels. Yet, the moment you try to build any decent pool of liquid savings to fund that life, the system suddenly starts looking at you like you've done something wrong. In this rigged game, the honest saver holding cash is the ultimate loser. You either learn how to legally navigate their bureaucratic maze, or you get completely played by it. There is no middle ground. It leaves a pretty bitter taste in your mouth, doesn't it? It makes you step back and ask the ultimate question. What was the actual point of all those decades of hard yakka, sacrificing your weekends, and doing the right thing if the finish line is just a kick in the teeth from a government algorithm? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know if you are currently getting squeezed by these rules, or if you have found a way to beat them to the punch. See you at the next shout.